Hello there, it's Annmarie Miles here from the Words, Wobbles and Wisdom podcast. I'm going to be making some bread today. Simple wholemeal spelt bread that's really yummy and really good for you. I don't tend to do the sourdough thing. It's too much like hard work for me and I just don't have time for it. As yummy and all as it is, I don't have time for it. This is really easy and really basic and we're just going to make it here and now. I use spelt flour. Carb for carb, spelt flour is roughly around the same as any other wholemeal flour, but it's a better quality flour. It has a lower glycemic index, so it's slower to raise those blood sugar levels when you do have it, and it's not milled in the same way, so it's just a better quality flour. So I've got 500 grams of wholemeal spelt flour here. I don't even bother to sieve, is that the word? I don't even bother to sieve it. 500 grams of spelt wholemeal flour. The other thing you need is 440 mils of buttermilk. I can't have buttermilk because I'm lactose intolerant. But if you have normal milk and you don't want to go out and buy buttermilk, you can use 440 mils of normal milk and put 2 tablespoons of either lemon juice or vinegar into it. That's what I do. I use the lacto-free milk, but you can use normal milk. And put 2 tablespoons of either lemon juice or vinegar. I've used both. You can't taste them and they do make the difference. So you can go out and buy some buttermilk or use normal milk with 2 tablespoons of either lemon juice or vinegar. After you put the 2 tablespoons of lemon juice or vinegar in, leave it to stand at room temperature just for 10 minutes or so to let it ferment. This is 1 teaspoon of salt, normal fine table salt. And this is 1 teaspoon, this is the salt. This is 1 teaspoon of salt and this is 1 teaspoon of bicarb of soda. They are your ingredients, your flour, your milk, your salt and your bicarb. So the first thing I do is I put the bicarb in. Give it a good stir around. Now I don't know the science of this, but they say to stir in the bicarb and the salt separately. There's something about if you throw them in together. I don't know the science. This is a very unscientific podcast. So there we go. And pop the salt in. Stirring that in as well. Excuse the sniffles. I'm at the end of a cold, but I'm the only person who's going to be eating this, so don't worry about this. And this is the milk. I've already had the lemon juice in here for more than 10 minutes. So I pour most of it in. Now this is where I need to stand up. What I use is a good hard plastic fork. I'll take that out there. And just stir it in. I've kept back a little bit. I stir in as much of this as I can. Honestly, this is no fail. It works every time. Right, once I've got all of that milk in, then I'll pour in the rest of it. Excuse me. I can't do this standing up and sitting down at the same time. I'll have to hire myself a video director, won't I? Mix the rest of this in. Just make sure you've got all of that flour in from the bottom of the bowl. And as you can see, it's not like a dough at all. It's quite messy. That's what it's supposed to look like. It's not a dry dough. It's a messy, wet dough, and that's fine. We'll give that another mix in a minute. So what I have here is a 2-pound loaf tin. Now I use the reusable liner. You can just grease a 2-pound loaf tin if you want. But I like these reusable liners. They make the bread really easy to take out of the tin at the end. I have the oven on at gas mark 3. gas mark 3 is, where am I? 165 degrees Celsius or 325 degrees Fahrenheit. The oven's been on since just before I started the video. The video's been going 5 minutes now, so apart from the couple of minutes to throw everything into a bowl, that is all that this takes. Okay, so I'm going to pop this into my lined tin, which you can see there. Can you? Let me tip this down a bit. Excuse my messy kitchen. As you can see, it's quite a messy mixture. That's fine. It's catching the thing there. Pop that in there. I'm going to catch the rest of it now with my spatula. And the reason I'm doing this is I just wanted to show you how easy it is. It's not a complicated thing. You don't need to sieve the flour. You don't need to knead. No need to knead. Then I'm going to get the rest of it with my spatula. Now, because it's so messy and sticky and not quite as pliable as you would like maybe a normal bread dough to be, we need to kind of coax it into shape. So, oh, please do excuse my snuffles. I just can't get rid of my head cold. So what I have here, I'm going to sit back down again. Hello. What I have here is an egg cup of water, which I'm just going to throw into kind of the remains of the drops of buttermilk that are in the jug. And I'm covered in the bread mix. And with this, I'm just going to wet the spatula. I just use that bit of water to push the mixture into the corners of the tin. Make sure that it's even. Keep the spatula nice and wet. Push it right into all the corners. Just so that it's even. And then wet it again, and with the spatula draw a line right down to the bottom of the mix. So I've kind of got a line down the middle, and I push the spatula right to the bottom. That just means as the bread starts to rise, because you've got the bicarb and the fermented milk, that it just won't pour out all over the place. That is it. How long have we been going? 8.5 minutes. That's it. That's ready to go into the oven, and I will be back to show you the finished article. This is going in at gas mark 3, which is, what are we, 165 degrees Celsius and 325 degrees Fahrenheit. It's going to go in for 50 minutes to an hour. I like to leave it for an hour, and as soon as it comes out, we need a clean tea cloth on top of it. So have that ready, and I'll see you in an hour. Hello there. So this was in the oven for an hour. As soon as it came out of the oven, I put a clean tea towel on it. That stops the crust from going hard. You want it to keep nice and soft. As it's cooling, you want to keep it covered. So I'm just going to lift the top off it. Give you a little look. So you can see it looks very, very, very yummy. Okay, I've got my cooling rack here. So I'm just going to pop that and lift. This is what I love about the reusable baking. What am I trying to say? The reusable tin liners. Thank you. If you said liners, thank you. You've inspired me. So we're just going to pull the sides down like this. I'm going to cover it, and then we're going to wrap it up and leave it until it is completely cooled. I would not cut this. I know it's lovely to have warm bread from the oven, but I usually would not cut this until it's completely cooled down. Sometimes I will leave it overnight and I will just let it completely cool down and then cut it, and that's it. It's absolutely beautiful bread. I try to get about 16 slices out of it. What I do is, let me show you these guys. These are cool. These are the wax wraps, the reusable wax wraps. So when I cut the bread up into about 16 slices, I get a pack of 4 and I wrap them up in these reusable wax wraps, and then I would put them in a Ziploc bag or in another tub, and then I'd freeze them. But I freeze it sliced. It's easier because it's so dense, it takes a while to defrost. So that's it. So that's the wholemeal spelt bread, and I hope that this video was helpful. This is my first baking video, so excuse the all the mistakes and the gaffes and the thinking and what was I going to say? This is my first, but it's just to show you don't have to be a super duper amazingly cool chef to be able to do these things. You can just bung these things in a bowl and then bung them in the oven. And my ponytail's falling out, so anyway, there we go. That's it. And I am going to be doing some Christmassy treats. If you want some low sugar, low carb Christmassy treats, that's my next video. It's there's always tins of sweets, and I love to be able to reach in and take a celebration or something from the Roses tin or the Quality Street, and I can't really. So I make my own. That's going to be the next video, how to make low sugar but very, very, very tasty, yummy Christmassy treats. That's all from me. Take care. Bye-bye.